don't like this angle. I do not like this angle. Anyway, thank you guys for joining me tonight. As you know, let's get the 5x5s out of the way. Yeah, I don't like this angle. I'm going to have to find something to boost it. Got a stack of papers here. Maybe that'll work. I don't know. All right, Loretta, Prep to Adapt. Thank you for the 5x5. Little John, Mr. Landfill, thank you for the 5x5. Angelwood, Coffee, Flown Grown, Tom Tom, Evolving Media, thank you for the 5x5. WTC, Lisa, Maria, Smokin, Wallace, Elite, Dobie, J No More, thank you for the 5x5. Jeep Girl, Joe, Little John again. Real White, thank you for the 5x5. Raccoon, thank you for the 5x5. And Jenkman, thank you for the 5x5. Zelensky didn't get his meal. Listen, that was an interesting interaction. A lot of people made a big deal about it, and other people didn't make a big deal about it. I think it was just a bad look. You can't just lower your chair. It's not lowering my chair. The laptop, the angle of the camera, it's weird. It was like this last week. I guess it's a little. Well, I don't want to hit the thing because I might drop down too much. I don't know what a lever is. Yeah, I don't know. Fuck it. I'll fix it next live stream. I'll put something under it. I got a couple things over here I can put under it. But anyway, that's what you call it. Yeah, I'm tired. I'm always tired. Is what it is. I don't sleep much anymore, so that's that. I come to that realization. It'll be like this for a long while, so it is what it is. Once I don't know. I don't know what I'm waiting for, but all I know is that I don't sleep much anymore. Zelensky was kind of short, and I think Zelensky was pissed off that he's not getting money anymore. I don't know how much more money you want. The guy got trillions of dollars, or billions, whatever. Nonetheless, like Adriana said, fuck him, screw him. He's an asshole anyway. He's a piece of shit anyway, and Trump, I guess, saw it for what it was. I don't know. G Lauro. It's not a new chair. It's actually very old. It's probably about 10 years old. But it's my brother's chair. My other chair is inside. The AIDS chair. The AIDS chair is doing fine. But I am going to bring it in. Zelensky stood strong. Zelensky, he did stand strong. That's the problem with the whole thing. Sean D. Excuse me. That's the problem with the whole thing. Everybody was being strong-headed. Everybody being stubborn, right? You had Trump, Zelensky, what was his name? The vice president, all there. They were all being, fucking men. And that's what happens, So, listen, is it a bad thing? No, it's a bad look, but it's not a bad thing, It could have been a lot worse, and it wasn't. They could have been like motherfucking each other on national TV, but they didn't, They got in a little tiff. But that's all it was. Listen, I don't care. I don't care what happens to Ukraine. I never did. I don't care what happens to Russia. Never did. We need to be worried about here. We are all focused on Ukrainian bullshit. I can care less. If fucking Ukraine got swallowed up tomorrow, I wouldn't care. If Russia and China imploded tomorrow, who gives a fuck? I don't care about other countries. It's just what it is, guys. People are like being completely distracted with the nonsense. We got some real fucking problems here. We got some real issues here. And we're not focused on that because they want us to focus on Ukrainians and the poor Ukraine people, and the Russians. And you got to listen. And then the problem with this whole situation is, at least here in the prepper community, we have two extremes. Right? We have people who put Putin on a pedestal, and we got people who put Zelensky on a pedestal. And I don't get it. And we shouldn't be paying attention to these celebrities. I'm sorry, because someone said they're acting. We shouldn't be paying attention to these politicians like that. We should be putting every last one of these politicians in a fucking box somewhere and dropping them in the ocean. That is my opinion. Um, Valerian. Yes, I've been taking valerian root. I haven't taken a lot for a while. Again, because I'm just up late at night. I'm up at 4 in the morning playing Call of Duty. So, and not because I want to, because I have to. Have to save the world. No, like I said, guys, it is what it is. It's hard to sleep. Um, all the shit rattling around in my head. It'll be a while. I know that, so I'm dealing with it the way I should. What I need to stop doing, though, and it starts tomorrow, is I need to stop eating like shit. That's the first step, and then start going for my nightly walks like I used to again. You know, or more. I do it like twice a week. I was doing it every night. So after this, I'm gonna go for a walk. Just to walk this bullshit off. But again, that's not the subject today. The subject is um, RFK starting a pandemic. Now, do I think he's going to start one? No. Do I believe that something is going to start and they're going to blame him and Trump? Absolutely. That's where my head is headed right now. It's not like, and they got, listen, they're already trying to drag RFK into the whole measles outbreak in Texas. They're already connecting his name to that. The World Health Organization, is already screaming and crying that the United States have pulled out of this accord or organization, and they're already saying that we're in danger because they did that. Like, who did a great job during Mr. 19 event? They did an absolute smash up job. They did such a good job that we should stay with them. By Trump pulling out, he's probably saying, listen, we can do this shit on our own and we can do it better. The only problem and the only place where it's going to kick us in the nutsack is if this thing starts overseas, like it will, and they don't give us any information on it until it's too late. They can do that, and they will do that on purpose. And then they'll ultimately blame RFK and Trump for the mess, whatever mess unfolds. And then people are going to start losing loved ones, and they're going to turn on Trump. It is how it goes, guys. Michigan lifestyle, exactly. It's all BS, my friend. So, with that being said, there's a lot that's going on in the country as far as diseases go, and we're going to go over a lot of it. Now, the one disease that they're not talking about is the simple fact that we are being poisoned, and we have been poisoned for a century or so, right? At least a century or so. And with Rockefeller gaining his power and turning a lot of natural supplements away or destroying a lot of natural supplements and telling us that we needed to take pharmaceutical drugs to get better, that's where the whole problem begins. And then the pharmaceutical company teams up with the food companies in America, and the food companies knew for a while that sugar was bad for us. And sugar has a lot of the abuse of sugar, is bad for us. Can you have sugar every now and again? Absolutely. Can you have sugar with every meal? No. But they discovered breakfast just so that they could sell more fucking products. And then in that breakfast, they put the sugar. And then in the sugar that we eat constantly, we get fat, lazy, dumb, stupid, and sick. Because sugar does pretty much all of that. And now here we are, right? And now RFK is trying to fix a lot of that problem that's been done for a little over 100 years, or a little less than 100 years, excuse me. So, sugars and everything. Yeah, but there's different kinds of sugars, if you will, right? There's refined sugar that is what's in everything, and then there's sugar that's more natural, which again is not great for you, but it's better than the bleached sugar that we eat. Again, it's all part of their plan. It's part of the plan is to get us sick by food, to put us on medicines, and keep us in that hamster wheel that a lot of us don't break out of. And then we get fat, and then we try to jump around on TikTok and break our leg. Now, by accident today, I saw a video of this thing. It was this blob. It was like an amoeba body. And he was like, he was smiling and doing his fat TikTok dance, whatever that was. And everything he did, every jiggle he made, his body was fucking boom, boom, boom. And I was like, that's disgusting. Well, to make matters worse, to make matters worse, he jumped up. I don't know why he jumped as high as he did, but he did. He did, and his leg folded. Click, click, and his leg was broken. I was like, oh. And this is what happens when you're fat. Listen, you want to be fat, that's up to you. But don't sit there and sell me that the pipe dream that is being healthy. When his leg said click, click, I was like, damn, that was bad. It hurt me. But no, not Gorlock. That fucking thing. That is grotesque. Tony Smith, exactly. High fructose corn syrup is another killer part of the sugar family. And even that stevia shit is not that great for you. They're like, it's awesome. Now, monk fruit, I think it's monk fruit, right? That sugar, that's good for you. And I had some a couple weeks ago, and it wasn't bad. It wasn't that bad. But the idea is to minimize the amount of sugar you put into your body, not have it with every fucking meal. I watched another fat guy, and this guy was he was amoeba-ish. He was black, a black amoeba, and the ice cream man in his neighborhood comes around, and the ice cream man, and again, this is all part of the plan to get us fat, lazy, and dumb. The ice cream man comes, and this guy orders some insane shit. It was like, I don't know, 5 like ice cream pops, 2 things or 3 things of cookies. He wanted ice cream pop, cookies. He had some like insane list, and it wound up being like $35 of treats. And he goes, my workout for the day. This motherfucker, this guy goes, my workout for the day, I shit you not. He goes, my workout for the day is when I get up out of my bed to go meet the ice cream man on my porch. From his bed to the porch is probably maybe 10, 20 feet, maybe. And he thinks that's his workout. Listen, to turn into an amoeba, right? To have an amoeba body, you have to do absolutely nothing when you eat. That means you eat all this food and then you just sit there and you go, and you just sit there and you do nothing. You just breathe, if that. How do you get that fat? When I look at, like, I'm gaining weight because of the bullshit that I fucking, been eating over the last 2 months. And I'm looking in the mirror, and I looked in the mirror the other day, like, I was taking my shirt off at a restaurant, and I went to take my shirt off, and this shirt came up, and I looked, and I was like, oh my God, what is that? I thought I was Oprah Winfrey. I freaked out. I thought Oprah was in the fucking bathroom with me. No, it was fucking me. I was like, that's it. With fucking having appetizers. And that was the end of it. So now, I'm cleaning up my act because I saw that bullshit in the mirror. I was like, that is fucking disgusting. All right. And again, I feel like shit gaining this weight. Can we get back to prepping? Roman Davis, this is part of prepping. It's called health. Deal with it, fat fuck. Anyway, and so I feel like shit being this heavy, and you got people who just like, they're like blobbing around. I'm like, how the fuck do you, I don't understand. I mean, like, I legitimately feel like shit. And yes, emotional eating is a big problem, especially when you fucking look like Oprah Winfrey. Holy shit, dude. It was bad. I got fucking scared. I scared myself. I was like, ugh. I was grossed out. I was fucking, it was, don't. It's not the point. The point is that I gained some weight, and I'm looking at myself like grossed out. How the fuck do you look at yourself when you can't see your dick in a mirror? How bad is that, right? You're in the mirror, like, I don't know. I don't know why fat people would be in the mirror, but let's just say you're in the mirror, and you're like, you're drying off, you're doing some shit, but you can't see your penis. That's fucking bad, man. That means your gut is hanging over your shit, and you can't see it. Yo, that's fucking bizarre to me. I would be, bizarre. Anyway, not the point. Before fucking Roman Davis, he said goodbye. Oh no, Roman Davis, don't leave. Don't leave. Oh shit. But my point, guys, is that the way the system is designed to get us sick and to keep us sick and to keep us addicted to the shit that's out there. That's the whole name of the game. And then The longer we're sick, the more dependent we become on the system. Now, RFK is going to reverse a lot of that, but I can absolutely see the next administration reversing that, making a lot of shit illegal. But yeah, it's fucking it's just insane the amount of shit that's going around with our food, and we're sitting here going like fucking morons. Meanwhile, everybody else across the pond over there, their food is as natural as it gets, and we're sitting here consuming garbage. Red 40, Blue 19, like this shit that they got in the food is fucking insane. And we're sitting here going, oh, okay, it's fine. It is not fine. I mean, like, yo, you bend over and you can't tie your shoes, so you wear fucking, what are those retard shoes that kids wear? The Velcro ones? Yo, that's bad, man. It's bad. Yeah, it's really bad. Oh, I don't know why when people say, oh, the bye-bye, right? When people say, I'm leaving, what? Why do people think that I give a shit? Is there any version in this universe where I'm gonna be like, no, don't go, no, like there's no version. I really don't give a shit. If you go, you go. You stay, you stay. You stay hidden. Fine. It doesn't matter, man. I don't understand these people out here. But anyway, let's get to the nonsense that we call uh, the next event that this is not an airport. This is the next event that they're going to blame if something does happen. I'm not saying that it will. I'm saying if something happens, they're undoubtedly going to blame Trump and RFK for this shit, without a doubt. Again, they're trying to connect that shit in Texas to RFK. His kind of thinking is why these people are doing what they're doing. Just keep in mind, these people didn't give their kids the arm ticket before Trump was even in office. This is why the breakout is happening. But I find it interesting that the breakout happens right after Trump gets into office, or just about when he gets into office, and then they start making a connection. I'm like, what? And people are sitting here, yeah, it's Trump's fault. I'm like, listen, I am not a big fan of Trump, but there are just some things you're not going to blame on that man, and this is not one of them. It really isn't. You got to be fair when you got to be fair. You got to give the Biden administration props when you can, and I don't think we ever could. You got to give Kamala Harris, credit but I don't see where it is. I give Trump credit where credit is due. It's supposed to be you give credit where credit's due and not suck their dick on a daily basis just because of who they are. Because people do that. People like, oh, he's great for this country. Oh, dog, sucking a dick, sucking a dick. I'm like, come on, guys. He's a politician. They're all politicians. They're in it. There is something in it for them. It is not about the people. They don't care about the people. The Biden administration doesn't give a fuck about the people. The Kathy Hochul administration here in New York State doesn't care about the people. But they play this game. They play this little thing like they do. Oh, we care about you guys. They don't give two fucks about us. They can care less, man. The MMR jab was pre-Trump. It's a no sucking here. No, listen, it's one thing to admire Trump or Vance. It's another thing to look up to them in a little way. But you can't be blinded enough with any president. Doesn't matter who it is. You can't be blinded with any president and just sit there and overlook the bad shit or the wrong shit they do as well. You got to give it to them just as well as you praise them. If you praise them and you're proud of them, say it. But if they fuck up, you got to say that too. You know, and that's where it goes. And Kathleen's like, Trump's not a politician. He is a politician because he's playing a political game. Kathleen, when people say that, you're a politician. Once you jump into the political arena, you are a politician. Once you fight a fire, you are a firefighter. Once you stop crime, you're a police officer, right? If you sign up for the job and you start doing the job description, that is what you are. It's as simple as that. He's a politician. He signed up to become president of the United States, politician. I signed up to become a New York City firefighter, I fight fires. I'm a fireman. That's what it is. We are not going to split hairs and hem and haw. That shit ain't happening here. Man, Kathy Hochul, if she could just fall down a flight of stairs, just, break a hip or some shit that old people do at that age. Trump was low class today. Trump, you know what? Trump shouldn't have fired back, but I saw Trump getting annoyed at Zelensky. I think Trump was just annoyed with President Zelensky's mere presence. He's looking at Zelensky like, I want to punch this little motherfucker in his face. That's what he's probably thinking. And then when he started firing back advance, Zelensky started firing back advance, Trump stepped in. Like, I saw bits and pieces of it, not the whole thing. You know? Did you go back to firefighting? Colorado foothills, yes. It's been a year now. A year and a little bit. A year and a little bit. I've been back. Try not to have a fucking heart attack when I go into a fire. Hence the reason why I got to lose this weight as well. Imagine going in there and then coming out at a heart attack. Fat ass fireman. It looks like Oprah Winfrey died of a heart attack. No, thank you. I don't want that headline. You know. So today, or rather right now, we're going to talk about what's going on in Congo. Now, I find this Congo situation very, very interesting, and they're up to no good. They're up to no good in Congo, or the Democratic Republic of Congo. They're up to no good because what they are trying to say with this disease is, I'm like, how do you mess it up twice? Just let me read this article and I'll let you know what it is. All right, so I'm going to put the article. Hold on. Okay, there it is. I'm putting this article in the link for you guys to read for yourself. It's called Congo Mystery Disease Investigation Deepens as Deadly Unidentified Illness Spreads, according to WHO. This is something, again, I provide you guys with the link so you guys don't call me out on my bullshit or say I'm making it up. Just read it for yourself. And in some cases, we can read it together. And when I come across a word I don't know, I'll look at you guys like, fucking help me, please. Anyway, the World Health Organization on Thursday said that its investigation deepens into a mystery illness suspected of killing over 60 people now. Now, when I released my video yesterday, or was it today? Maybe it was yesterday. Yesterday. Well, it was probably today. But anyway, nonetheless, when I released that video, it was 50 people. Now it's up to 60 in the Northern Democratic Republic of Congo over the past 5 weeks, warning it was continuing to spread. WHO said in a statement today, along with Congo health officials, it was carrying out further investigations to determine the cause of another cluster of illness and community deaths in I don't know what province that is, marking the third time this year disease surveillance teams have identified an increase in illness and deaths in the region. Most of the recent clusters occurred in the somebody else's asshole health zone last week. 141 additional people fell ill with no deaths reported, the United Nations Global Health Agency said. In the same health zone, 158 cases and 58 deaths were reported in the same health zone early February. I'm going to talk about that one. In January, the Balamba health zone reported 12 people fell ill, including 8 deaths. Now, the one that was last month, January, I found that one to be interesting because after all of that hoopla and all of that going back and forth, they go, oh, it's malaria. What? You just compared the signs, symptoms, and issues that they were having to Ebola and Marburg, and yet they turn around and go, it's just malaria. Don't worry about it. What? When the hell did malaria started doing that? Anyway, and I know they said in some cases malaria could mimic those diseases, but we're not talking about some cases anymore. We're talking about a lot of cases now where they're confusing malaria with Marburg or Ebola. All right, the deaths occurred in one village in Boloka and affected people of all ages. However, teenagers and young adults seem the most susceptible. That was the one I'm talking about. Now, all of a sudden, that disease wound up being malaria, or a malaria type of disease. Excuse me. The Congo is somebody's petri dish, Rhonda. Somebody's petri dish is Congo, because I the amount of shit that's breaking out there now. The reason why I, I say that they're using this place for testing, like I made the statement in my last video, is because a lot of these breakouts are happening in small villages in Africa, where it takes you almost a day and a half to get to the nearest major city with an airport. So the amount of time it takes you to get to one of those places, this disease, especially this new one that's claiming people's lives in 48 hours, as they say, you'll long be dead before you get to that major city, right? And even if you got to the city and you were exposed and you got to the city, even if you don't pass away, you're too sick to do anything about it. And you're so sick, it's apparent that you're sick, and people are not going to put you on that plane. You know, if you can't walk on your own in that plane, they're not putting you on that plane. And if you look severely sick, I know that a lot of the African countries won't allow people on the plane. There's a couple of diseases, actually, that if you come down with it in certain countries, you are not getting on that plane. They will keep you there, get you treated until you're ready to go. And there was another one my buddy was talking about. I think it was called black gonorrhea or black something. It's an STD, but it's really fucking bad, like super bad. And he was telling me that a couple of his military buddies, or one of his military buddies, came down with this, and he had to stay in country at base in the medical facility for a month. He was being treated for a month, and after I think his ailments went away in like 3 weeks or whatever it is, 2 weeks, he had to stay an additional week or so before they could let him come back stateside. So there are ways to stop diseases from spreading. The military doesn't enough, and that black I'm pretty sure it's black gonorrhea. It might be wrong, but if they could stop it by telling soldiers you can't come home, they could do the same shit with anything that goes on in the world. You look at Africa, you're like, oh, you got what going on? No planes for you. Simple. Simple. But they don't do that, right? With Mr. 19, when we were watching Fester in China, for some reason, we're like, why don't they just shut down the airlines? Nope. With that, the Chinese came here and they're like, ching, 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 and then they started spreading their diseases. And then the fucking world got it because they refused to shut down the airline system in China. Anyway, concerns over the frontline impact of Trump's aid cut. Now, again, oh, wait, before I get there, let me read this last part. The WHO's African office said earlier this week that the first outbreak was among several children who ate a bat. Fucking kids in their bats. And then passed away 48 hours after experiencing hemorrhagic fever symptoms similar to those caused by Ebola or Marburg viruses. The death occurred in one village in Bokalata and affected people of all ages. However, the teens and young adults were susceptible. All right. Now, this is where they try to start blaming Trump. This shit is in Africa. Mobutu is dealing with this shit right now. He doesn't want to, but he's dealing with it. And here they are dragging Trump's name into the shit. All right. Over frontline impacts of Trump's aid cut, when a number of unexplained cases of illnesses crop up, a team of health officials and international virus hunters immediately go on an investigating the outbreak, determine who was the first case, called Patient Zero. Work to identify, contain, and treat the illness. But those teams have been gutted by Trump's administration's recent U.S. foreign aid cut, a health official stated Thursday. During the first cabinet meeting, Mr. Trump's second administration on Wednesday, non-cabinet member Elon Musk said officials with his efficiency-oriented Doge department had mistakenly canceled Ebola program as they targeted USAID. Now, is it, not the USA, people keep calling it USA ID. If I'm not mistaken, it's U.S. aid. And I only thought of that because, first of all, it makes sense because we're cutting aid to other countries using this USA aid. And I saw a jacket that said that. It said US dot dot aid. But everybody keeps calling it USID, USAID, when it's US aid. US giving aid to other countries, and that's what they were looking to cut. Anyway, not the point. Um, and you hear it both ways now. Now you're hearing it both ways. You're hearing the USA aid, sorry, USAID or US aid, one or the other. Anyway, it was just a quick bone I had to pick with that because I'm hearing it both ways and everybody's saying whatever. Not the point. All right, so this is the second time the Trump administration, not in the article, has cut somebody's office out of the game and people were pissed off. What the Trump administration or what Elon Musk is doing is he's trying to get everything back to zero and then start being responsible where the spending is going. That's what he's trying to do. But for some reason, people are looking at this as something other than what it is. But no, USA. Right, it's U.S. aid. Exactly what I said. But people keep saying USAID. That was my point. And then someone said, Max Life said it's not USA aid, USAID. USAID. I'm going to go with USA International Development. USAID. Fuck that. It's USA. It's US aid. Fuck them. Anyway, one U.S. health official who spoke to CBS News disputed the aid had been restored. However, they said locally trained health workers in some of the infectious diseases hot zones in Africa have not been paid. Some have been dismissed entirely due to the U.S. aid cut. Anyway, the U.S. has long been the largest international donor to the Congo's health sector. Interestingly enough, guys, the Congo president made an offer to the United States for their mineral deposit. Again, a little coincidental, if you ask me, because the United States wanted Ukraine's mineral deposit, and then Congo jumped on it, like immediately, like the next day. They stated, "Oh, we have minerals too. Can you help us?" No, Mobutu, shut up and sit down. That's pretty much what they told him. All right, so now the next part of this article, I'm gonna blow over it real quick, but it's race to ID the mysterious disease. Now, again, they're saying that this mysterious disease, this one that's currently around, is also a form of malaria, if not malaria itself. I'm like, how? U.S. Agency for yes, USA Aid, pinch runner, whatever. We listen. We can go back and forth on this. We'll debate this shit another time. But I also do it because it aggravates a lot of people as well. When they say shit wrong, like Houston Street, it's actually Houston Street, but whatever reason people keep calling it Houston. Um, it's spelled the same fucking way. But again, not the point. But like you go to what is it, Prescott? If you go to Prescott, Arizona, and say Prescott, it pisses them off. So you know what I say? Prescott. I know it's Prescott, Arizona, but it annoys people. I get a kick out of annoying people that's saying shit wrong. But anyway, so a race to identify the mysterious disease. Again, I said that they're trying to say it's malaria all of a sudden, but then you would have known it was malaria from jump. Why would you wait this long and then tell us, oh, it might be malaria? After 5 weeks of this shit. Whatever. In northern Congo, health officials have been searching for anyone with general sickness or an illness that fits the broad case definition that includes prep to adapt. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. That includes, fever, chills, headaches, nosebleed, coughing, vomiting, diarrhea, stiff neck, muscle, and joint pain. That sounds like a bad night, man. February 19th, the WHO said 943 people and such had such symptoms had been identified, including 52 who had died. Are you fucking kidding me? These fucking people. I come home, and what happens? My firehouse goes on fire. It's bullshit. This is not going to talk about it, it's just going to piss me off. All right, test results released on February 13 show the first cases were not Ebola or Marburg, but half of the samples did test positive for malaria. Again, half of the test samples, not all of it. Earlier samples suspected cases, health officials said, were not viable. So retesting delayed diagnosis process. WHO officials are conducting further tests, also looking at the possibility of meningitis and testing food, water, and other environmental samples from the affected region. All right, so that's it. So, and then the other part is the illness knows no boundary. Fuck that. That's boring. So, also take note, guys. They're saying it's malaria again. Here is the other problem. People over there could be dying because of lack of medical care. Mobutu is in the middle of nowhere in Africa. There is no major hospitals. There's no real supply chain for them to get the supplies they need. They don't stock up on a lot of this stuff. They stock up on some of the medical supplies. But when something like this happens, people are going to pass away because they don't have the accurate or sufficient amount of medical supplies to help them. So there's always that. That is a big contributor to people passing away in countries like that. So I just like to put that in the back of people's heads because it could be the disease, but it's more likely the lack of what you call it, the lack of medical coverage and medical equipment out there. Elite chief, malnutrition is another one. That's the other problem. All right, so again, it's a mixture of things. It's not just one thing; it's a mixture of things. Now, next article, putting this in the chat, guys. This one was interesting. I found it by accident. I was looking up the Congo incident, and I found this thing. Um, let's see if I can pull it up. All right. Mysterious disease in Jammu and Kashmir. 12, including kids, are passed away so far. This was last month, January 14th, right last month. A total of 12 people have died in Badhal village in somebody's district in Jammu after a mysterious disease was identified in the village. On Monday, two more kids passed away to the disease after being treated at the hospital. Again, this is another place that doesn't have the accurate or right amount of medical supplies and also has a high number of malnutrition because a lot of kids don't eat there, they starve, and all this other shit. All right. Um, Two children passed away on Monday after six kids from a family were admitted to the hospital due to mysterious illness in the Baldal village. Six children of Muhammad Aslam were taken to the community health center for a medical checkup on Saturday evening. The children were treated in the hospital where 5-year-old Nabina breathed her last breath on Sunday. Excuse me. The village under the professional. Thank you for the donation. The village under the Kotrana subdivision had been grappling with a mysterious disease that claimed the lives of 9 people from 2 different families since last December. The latest person to pass away have taken the toll to 12. According to Dr. Some fucking Indian name, let's call him Mr. 711, principal of GMC Hospital, primarily investigation pointed to a viral infection as the cause of the mysterious death. However, he also said that much more studies were needed to reach a definitive conclusion. Meanwhile, teams of experts from Pune National Institute of Virology, or PGI, Kartgurt, and in Delhi, and National Center of Research have visited the village to assess in the investigation. As daily accelerates, the children's slow symptoms like fevers, sweating, vomiting, dehydration, episodic loss of consciousness. Wow. After they were referred to the Government Medical College, the GMC Associated Hospital in Rajuri, and later to the SMGS Hospital in Jammu. 6 children were admitted to the hospital. 1 girl died yesterday. 2 more children passed away today. Nothing has Nothing is known at the exact cause of this. Now, I looked up for a follow-up story. I could not find a follow-up story on this. This story was the last story that I can find on this. They still don't know what it is according to this article. But again, put that one in the back of your head. This is just one of those things, guys, that I don't know. All of it is just Master Blaster. Thank you for the donation. All of it is just circulating as such. Trump is gaining popularity in the election, and all of a sudden, bing, 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 shit's popping up all over the place. Now, something popped up in China. Oh, wait, before we talk about what popped up in China, I want you guys to read this article. This article is very interesting because it seems like, well, they want to start some shit again. The Chineses. The Chineses want to fucking start some shit. So let's get China-ing right now. All right, so the Wuhan lab planning an ominous new bat experiment. Chinese scientists were planning an ominous experiment similar to those that could trigger the Mr. 19 event. The Wuhan Institute published new research this month announcing it had found a bat Mr. 19 that can enter human cells. Bullshit. I'm going to tell you what that's the biggest bullshit I've ever seen. Big bullshit. The paper concluded with the calls for further investigation into strains that have more infectious spike protein, as well as testing in human transgenic mice. I knew somebody that messed around with mice. Let's see. The first known Mr. 19 case emerged just 8 miles from the WIV, which was known for collecting and manipulating the Mr. 19 virus. The Institute was stripped of U.S. funding for carrying out dangerous experiments ahead of the outbreak, and the U.S. selected subcommittee on the Mr. 19 pandemic concluded in December that the disease most likely leaked from the Wuhan lab. No shit. No shit, Sherlock. We were saying that for a while. Everybody was saying that for a while. And the United States government, and that I didn't mean that I know someone that used to mess with mice. But now they're like some super nerd in their job doing nerd shit. But not transgender mice. Come on. Transgenic mice. Transgenic mice. Not transgender mice. And transgenic mice are humanized mice. If I'm not, I forgot how to explain it, but they just have the same, if I'm not mistaken, like cellular systems and things like that of humans to see how we are affected by certain things. So there's going to be more testing on the virus to see whether or not the spike protein is more susceptible to humans. They are studying the cleavage sites and they activated the spike in these viruses. These studies are they are going to study these inability to cause disease in humanized mice. So again, this is they found a virus, a Mr. 19 virus, that's easy. I don't know how much more easier it needed to be because this Mr. 19 event that happened, I mean, you sneezed on somebody, they got sick. And now they want to, it's a thing, CRISPR, right? Now they want to, if I'm not mistaken, work on these mice, work on these mice and see how much easier it is for us to get infected with this new one they found. They didn't find this shit. They will still work. Listen, the Chinese are not stupid. They will absolutely work on something like this and just shift gears, right? They'll move to another location. They're not dumb. They think we're dumb, but we're not dumb. They have multiple labs. They have way more biolabs than I think the United States and Russia has combined. And yes, we do fund some of their labs because some of the shit they do or they test on, we can't test on here because of like, whatever reasons it might be. Now here's the transgender mice. Well, listen, on a quick topic of transgender animals, yes, the United States put in funding for transgender animals to give animals transgender drugs to see how they react to it, and then give them on tickets to see how they reacted to that as the opposite sex. It was bizarre, most bizarre shit I've ever heard. Yeah, Joe. Yeah, I know the Ukraine had, but that doesn't matter. Every country has a biolab. Every country. It's nothing new. That propaganda they were trying to run, that Russia was trying to run, that the Ukraine has biolabs. So does Russia. So does Africa. So does Australia, the UK, the United States, Canada. There's an island off the coast of the United States. I think northern United States. There's a big biolab on it. There's a biolab probably in the Antarctic somewhere. There's a biolabs everywhere. So I don't know, man. The whole biolab thing when people are like they have biolabs, they're biolabs everywhere, man. This is nothing new. This is not a Ukraine thing. This is not a Russian. It's everywhere. It's just who's going to mess up. Who's going to mess up and release some shit? The Chinese already did it, so who's next? And the Chinese is still denying that this ever happened. Like that it came out of their lab, rather. Excuse me. All right, so this is the last article, I think. I think this is a long one, so we might not go the distance with this one. I mean, I'd rather not go the distance with this one. But this is the measles one, and we have we're running out of time. Good. So this is the last article. Give me 2 seconds to fix this dumb shit. All right, so let me drop the. Wait a minute. Oh shit! I didn't fucking. Let's see if I can find the article real quick. Fuck it. If I find it, I'll put it in the chat. It's not that important, but I'll read it to you. I'll put the title in the chat, and then you guys copy and paste the title, and you'll find the article. I could do that much. It makes a little more sense. All right, all right, all right. So now the Chinese had a virus. It's called the HMPV. They're saying that it's not new, but there are people in the medical world that's saying it's very new. So that was something that they had pop up last year, but they're still having a problem with it this year. So let's see. And this is the one. Is this the one? No, these are two different articles. But anyway, so let me put this article in here now. This is the Chinese one. Oh, come on. Sorry. All right, so hospital overwhelmed due to a disease outbreak in China. Hospitals in China are grappling with a surge in respiratory illnesses, reminiscent of the early days of Mr. 19. The outbreak, which began in October of last year, 2024. The same thing with Mr. 19 back in 2019 of October. They started seeing issues out there, right? They started seeing this respiratory illness pop up. So a lot of people were on guard, including the CDCs and CDCs around the world and organizations like that were a little on guard when they saw that. Despite social media reports of overwhelmed hospitals, no official confirmation has been made regarding the severity of the situation. Now, there was a video on Instagram showing the showing the overrun hospitals. And it wasn't just one, it was a couple of them. And this hospital was fucking packed. And there were a lot of kids in this hospital, too. So this disease, if I'm not mistaken, this pneumonia that they thought it was packing the hospital. So they wound up calling it a HMPV, right? If I said that right. Yeah, HMPV is what they were calling it. It's a respiratory illness. HMPV is human, what is it? Metapneumovirus. Metapneumovirus. This HMPV is an RNA virus that belongs to somebody's asshole. It was first detected in 2001 by Dutch researchers studying samples of children with respiratory infections. That was back in 2001 when it was first discovered. But China was having a problem with it back in October of 2024 to now. So this is, again, it's fairly new. And all right, so the outbreak suspected to be linked to human HMPV, a virus that causes mild to moderate flu-like symptoms, can lead to severe conditions in children and the elderly. Like other respiratory viruses, like RSV, the HMPV spreads through respiratory droplets and close contact. Unlike Mr. 19, there is no arm ticket or antiviral treatments for it. Now, basically, it's like the common cold or a mild flu, according to a lot of articles I read. I'm not sure why other articles make it sound like it's bigger than this. That's all it is. It's just and I think it's here because a lot of people this year got really sick. I'm like, bad. So it's got to be here already. Regular flu is majority contributor to the outbreak, with 30% of tested returning positive for influenza. The Chinese Center for Disease Control, their CDC, noted that flu-like illnesses accounted for 7.2% of outpatient visits in northern province and 5.7% in southern province at the end of December. The Chinese government and WHO have yet to address the situation publicly. Again, put that shit in the back of your head. All right, real quick, I'm going to go over some of the article, not a lot of it. So, yeah, give me a break. With it, I put the title in. It's Measles Deaths of Unarmed Ticketed Children in Texas. Outbreak has its first fatality in the U.S. in a decade. Unvaccinated school-aged children in Texas, a unarmed ticketed kid, has passed away from the measles, the first death associated with an outbreak in western part of the states that has infected more than 100 people. Am I saying this right? Lubbock City spokesperson Lauren Adams confirmed the passed away on ABC News Wednesday. That was 2 days ago. In a press release, the Texas State Department of Health and Services said the child was hospitalized in the northern west city of Lubbock, right, last week, and tested positive for measles. As of Wednesday, 124 cases of measles have been confirmed associated with the outbreak. It's almost all of the cases were almost, not all of them. Keep in mind, guys, they like to use these. They like to be slick with the shit they say. Sorry. So almost all cases were unarmed ticketed kids or kids whose armed ticket status is unknown. 18 have been hospitalized so far. The children and teenagers between the ages of 5 and 17 make up a majority of the cases with 62, followed by 39 cases among children under the age of 4. The outbreak began in Gaines County, which has become the epicenter with 80 cases confirmed among residents, according to the DHS. The outbreak has since spread out several counties in the region and is suspected to have spread into New Mexico, according to the New Mexico Department of Health. 9 cases have been confirmed in Lea County, which borders Texas. Out of the 9 cases, 4 are among children, according to the New Mexico Department of Health. This death underscores the real dangers of measles, and it's a severe disease that takes lives despite being preventable with armed tickets. So now they're trying to blame the whole, these people not being arm ticket, which it doesn't make sense to me because a lot of people don't take this arm ticket for the measles. They don't. And now all of a sudden, again, Trump's in office, RFK is in his position, and here they are. They got an outbreak all of a sudden of the measles. I find it very interesting, guys, that the timing of all of this shit is just a lot. It's just a lot, right? And so um, there's a lot more to the article. I'm not going to read it because we only got a couple of more minutes. But again, they're throwing Kennedy under the bus with this paragraph. Kennedy also claims the reason the children were hospitalized was for quarantine purpose, and Johnson said sorry during the press conference on Wednesday that children are not hospitalized for quarantine. That makes no sense. So it seems like whatever RFK says, they'll say the opposite, just to fucking throw them under the bus. But they're trying to make the connections between Trump and this outbreak. They're blaming Trump on this outbreak, and he just got into office. That's a like if it happened next year, you could somewhat try to blame him, but the moment he steps into office, they got an outbreak, and now they're blaming him. All right. Like I said, guys, they think we're fucking stupid. We're not. The CDC currently recommends people receive 2 arm ticket doses, the first at the ages of 12 to 15 months, and the second between the years 4 years and 6 years. One dose is 93% effective. The second dose is 97% effective. Most vaccinated adults don't need a booster. 93% of kindergartens nationwide received select routine child arm tickets, including the MMR arm ticket for the 2022-2023 school year, according to November's 2023 CDC report. Again, guys, a lot of bullshit. There's a lot of bullshit going on here. And yeah, Jonathan, that's all it is. And they're going to, matter of fact, I don't know if this is a new episode, but I saw the trailer for Law and Order. And in this Law and Order episode, I don't know if it came out already. One of you guys will tell me. But the lead detective, the female that's been on that fucking show for 100 years, the bitch is turning into a fucking skeleton. She's been on so long. But in that Law and Order, her kid gets the measles. And not, and then something like, now it's personal. What? What you gonna go after all the parents that don't put crap into their kids and all? It was the weirdest, most propaganda commercial I've ever seen in my entire life. It was pretty bad. But I don't know if it's new or not. So, yeah, Zelensky didn't get any money and he didn't get a free meal. Listen, when they mentioned the big meal, the big lunch they were supposed to have, the only thing that went through my head was, who's going to eat all of that? And then they said they gave it to the press. They let the press eat the meal. I was like, good. It sucks because that's like a good lunch. Those White House, those political meals that they give each other, those are some great meals. You're talking about top catered meals. You can't throw that shit in the garbage. You got to give it to somebody, right? I mean, they could have probably gave it to a homeless shelter. It would have been fine. But the media guys, the reporters and shit, they ate it. So someone said he went home hungry. Yeah, he went home hungry and crying. And then right before I came on to here, he states that maybe he should apologize to Trump. His words, not mine. So he knew he was out of character. I mean, again, should have Trump and Vance got into it like that? Probably not. Not on camera, anyway. That shit should have been behind closed doors, behind the scene. So then when Zelensky stormed out of there, that they would have been like, okay, that something happened, but not to do it in front of the world like that. That was poor taste. But anyway, guys, other than that, I'm going to head over to the Angry Truth. We're going to talk about the DEI and is it costing people their lives? Because we've seen more than enough accidents in the last couple of months. But bear with me with the DEI conversation we're going to have in the Angry Truth right about now. Other than that, guys, thank you for joining me. Adriana said he did apologize. Good. Thank you for joining me tonight. Thank you for following me. I will be back on next week. I'll be more on my schedule. I will have a Wednesday midweek report as well next week. And this Sunday, I am doing Angry Prepper Fitness live stream. We're going to talk about how to, I guess, take care of yourself better with all of the nonsense that we're eating and the stuff not to eat and the natural supplements you should be eating, especially if you're looking to be healthier, not necessarily working out. But other than that, guys, thank you for joining me, and I'll see some of you guys in a few minutes.